Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today I will take you for a walk, so get yourself ready, put your shoes on, or maybe go barefoot if you want. We're in a beautiful place and I will take you on a journey. I have a very important message for you, very powerful message that will help you not just to propel yourself on this journey that we're on. It will also help you to see things a little bit more clearly, because life is quite mysterious, isn't it? But then eventually we notice that when things are kind of falling apart, they're also falling into place, and what we thought that shouldn't happen actually needed to happen, and eventually we recognize, oh, all the events I was avoiding were chasing me. All the emotions I was avoiding were constantly going with me. They were coming with me. They were coming behind me. And as this ancient proverb says, wherever you go, there you are, right? You can't escape yourself. So what life is really teaching you is to recognize that there's nothing you need to escape from. There's just what you're seeking, right? So the reason I'm making this video is a bit different than what we've started. It's because many times, as we start spiritually evolving, we also come across many spiritual philosophies, like astrology. We come across ascension material. We come across different types of personal evolution, soul evolution philosophies, psychological philosophies, and so on. And all of this material helps us to see things more widely, right? So we can eventually form a bigger picture. And many times when we start exploring all these fields, we start getting answers, right, to our deepest questions, like why I have these weaknesses, why or what are my strengths? Like, for example, if we have a very clear, precise astrological chart, you may easily detect, oh, these are my potential strengths and these are my potential weaknesses. So in any kind of a thought system you go, you will eventually come across more clarity around certain, let's say, traits of your personality. But where we start to feel stuck then on this journey, let's say on this journey of self-evolution, soul evolution, spiritual evolution, however you call it, we start to feel stuck that we define ourselves by that chart. We define ourselves by that whatever, information that we got in return for our seeking and researching. But what we don't understand is that it's just a map. It's just a map, like this is where you are right now because of all your karma, all your, different life cycles, different life experiences. That's where you are. It's a map, you see? That's why it's very important to study philosophy, because philosophy will teach you how to use a map, not how to be a victim of the map. Think about the map this way. You would have a map of the world in front of you. And then you would see yourself as a tiny little bit on that map. And because you're so tiny on this very big map, you would say, I don't matter. I'm so small, I don't matter. That is, how one can see a map. You can say, those are my weaknesses, so it's very hard for me to work on this. Those are my strengths, so I'm very good at this. That's how we usually perceive a map, right? But it's the same way as we would see the map of the world and we would say, I'm so little, I just don't matter. I just don't matter on this world, I'm so small. But then there's another type of a person, a philosopher. And that other type of a person looks at the map and says, whoa, the world is so big and I'm this tiny bit. There's so much to explore. There's so much to explore. That's how a philosopher sees the world, right? A seeker of wisdom. So why I'm sharing this with you? Well, when you get a map of your personality, let's say something you've discovered through your seeking, through your searching. A biggest trap on this journey truly is that you get defined by it. Map only shows you a potential for where you can go, where you can stretch yourself, where you can grow, where you can evolve. It doesn't tell you how limited you are. It just tells you the truth of your evolution until now, right? So how can you then stretch yourself beyond this point where you've limited yourself by what you're seeing or what you've come across on your seeking journey? How can you stretch beyond that? Well, you need to start noticing how many times your choices are made based on fear, avoiding things, right? Based on fear, avoiding things, avoiding unpleasant things, rather than seeking joy. How many times your choices are based in fear because you've seen these are my weaknesses, so I should avoid it. But because I'm avoiding it, I also can't fully explore my strengths because I constantly feel guilt that I'm not doing what I should be doing. So we're in a constant loop of blaming, trying, failing, blaming, trying, failing, blaming, trying, failing. And it never ends, right? And then you say, I lack self-love. But what is the truth in this? What can we learn from this? We can learn that a character, a personality is formed out of choices. Choices make results, and results make a person, and a person creates habits, and habits create traits, and traits then become who you are, right? But it doesn't stay there. At a certain point of your evolution, you recognize, okay, I've become aware of my traits, I've become aware of my habits. Now, how to stretch that, how to expand that. And you will notice there's a reason why you don't want to stretch it. There's a very good reason why you don't want to stretch it. And that's where you recognize why it was always so hard for you to change. A reason you don't want to stretch, to try something new, to build a new habit is because it feels unfamiliar. That is the reason. And our brain is wired to be afraid of the unfamiliar because there's maybe a lion that will eat you, right? So you may say my weakness is inconsistency. So every time I try to be consistent, I fail because I'm still defined by the idea that I'm inconsistent. So if I want to become more consistent, it's so unfamiliar that I get scared of it. And if I'm scared of it, it means I feel fear for it. And if our choices are made based on fear, avoiding things we are afraid of, it means there is no capacity to experience more joy in our lives if all we know is what we've always done, right? And if what we've always done doesn't bring joy into our lives, it means we will not find it where we are, and we will not find it in what we are doing. So the only way to really find joy is to seek joy. It's not an intellectual process, my friend. It doesn't mean you have to find a better astrological explanation so you will find joy in your life. No, no, no. Like my soul or my my sign is not very joyful, so my life should be rooted in misery, or something like that. You could come up with something like that. It means through different experiences, I've been formed as I am today, right? But this is so beautiful. You see, nature is constantly seeking towards its own upgrading, its own improvement. Nature is constantly improving itself. It's striving towards goodness. That's what ancient philosophers were exploring, this idea. Nature is striving towards goodness. That's why everything is growing upwards, because light is the most perfect expression of matter, right? So everything is growing upwards towards the light. And you see, if you look at the trees, they're the most beautiful at the top, the most colorful, and there's the most seeds eventually that they will spread later in the season from everything. It all starts at the top because they reached, what reached the top, the most light, has evolved the fastest. That's what nature understands. What we don't understand most of the time is that we should stay at the bottom here because it's familiar, that we should stay down there because it's familiar. We're afraid of, stretching outside of familiar because maybe something can eat you there. But that's the map of the world. If you go to travel, you may lose yourself, right? You may get robbed. You may get scammed. A truck can hit you. All kinds of things may happen. So it's much safer to be close at your home, right? But those who go and travel become wiser, and they just don't subscribe to weak ideas anymore. They don't say, I'm incapable of change because I've just proven to myself that I can change, I can adapt myself to new environments, I can learn new languages, I can build new skills, I can build a business, I can find new streams of income if I only use my creativity, right? So the point in all of this, what I'm talking today about, is to remind you that your job is not to be stuck in familiar. Your job is to live a life of an adventure. So when you think I'm inconsistent, I'm too afraid, I'm too scared, I'm lacking courage, I'm lacking this, the truth is you're lacking adventure. Adventure will teach you all of that. It's not self-improvement that will teach you that. Adventure will teach you that. And adventure starts with seeking joy, with seeking new experiences, with seeking playfulness. So don't be so stuck in words. Don't be so stuck in words, my friend. If you've read many books, many philosophical texts, whatever, religious texts, whatever, don't be stuck in words. Seek understanding of these words, deeper understanding of these words. But what is understanding? Right? What is understanding? What does it mean, understanding? It means you have experienced it, so you can stand on facts, right? This is understanding. You can stand on facts. Inner standing is the facts are within you. Overstanding is the facts are all around you. You have results of your knowledge around you, right? Understanding, experiencing facts for any kind of a philosophy. Inner standing, knowing it by heart. Overstanding, seeing results of it. You've embodied it. So you've created, manifested results of it. So how can it help you in your life? Well, easily. Whatever you're lacking the most as a certain personality trait, you should expose it to the world. Like, doesn't matter where you've been growing up, doesn't matter what's the most rooted philosophy inside of your mind, you should challenge it. Go out of your familiar places. Go into the world, explore it. And you will notice sometimes you will be forced to be consistent with moving on because where you are is unsafe. Sometimes you will be forced to keep up with working on something because you will need to make money. Sometimes you will be forced to set boundaries because people are using you or abusing you, right? Sometimes you will be forced to stand for what is right because you will perceive too much of injustice. So you'll be forced to build up, to shape your weaknesses, right? Not because you just decided at your home in your safe zone, because life pushed you into it. And that's where you learn the greatest truth of life, which is this. Life will shake you. Then it will destroy you. Then it will give you space and time so you can recalibrate yourself. And then it will show you who you truly are. And then it will allow you to evolve in this new realization. And those are phases we're all going through all the time. In alchemy they called it the black phase, the dark night of the soul. It's when life starts shaking you and breaking you, destroying you. Then there's the white phase, the phase of purification, where life gives you space and time. Sometimes someone comes to you and supports you, so you have space. Sometimes something happens, right? So you will have space to heal yourself, to learn what truly happened. And then there's the red phase, which says it's about crystallization. So what is crystallization? It's where you discover your very unique gifts and you start sharpening them. That's where you crystallize your soul. But because there's no end to this process, it's happening over and over and over again. But what's very beautiful about it is the first one is the hardest because it's the most unfamiliar. The second one is still quite hard, but then it just gets easier until it becomes natural, until we start to look at it as seasons. You see, nature has seasons where if you would not know, you would think towards the end of the year or towards the beginning of the winter, it feels like nature starts dying. Like, what's going on here? Something is wrong? Are the trees sick? They're leaving old leaves behind. Are they sick? What's going on here? But those who are a bit wiser, a bit older, right? That's why you should listen to older people. Is that they understand, well, nature is also purifying itself, right? Sun is constantly purifying itself. From its core, it's constantly pushing out its particles. It's constantly purifying itself. That's science. Everything in nature is meant to keep purifying itself. And through the process of purification, it's constantly discovering its highest possible goodness that should be sharpened, evolved, and fully embodied. So don't listen so much to the words of philosophies. Try to understand them through a personal experience, right? The biggest trap on this journey is that we hold on to words. You read a book, like you read a Bible and you say, I know God. Or you read your astrological chart and you say, I understand myself. No, you don't understand yourself. You just have a map of your past, but it's not a vision of your future. a vision of your future can only exist in your mind and in your heart. So each map can be useful, but exploring it is what will make your life meaningful, right? Don't just stay where you are and say, I found the map. Explore it. Explore it, my friend. Go outside into the world. Expose your deepest weaknesses to the world. And be willing to be broken. Be willing to be shaken. The purpose of comfort zone is so you can go somewhere to retreat yourself. But then go outside, like if you have insecurities, to talk publicly, to, communicate with others. Go outside and communicate. Say hi in a coffee shop or wherever you go, right? Expose yourself. That's what will make you wise. So my friends, I hope you found great value in today's video. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings and power. Thanks to all of you for supporting my art. I'm an artist, a painter, so you can find all of my art on AttractPassion.com. Go and check it out. And to anyone who would love to work with me one-on-one, I'm also offering coaching sessions. You can find the link in the description of this video. And till next time, stay connected, stay beautiful, and let's go, my friend. Much love.